Close your eyes, take a slow breath in, and let it out. Again, breathe in slowly and out. Let your body sink deeper into wherever you are right now. Feel the weight of the day, leaving your shoulders, leaving your chest, leaving your mind. There is nowhere to be right now, nothing to do, nothing to think about, just this voice and a story about a place that most people will never see in their lifetime. A city carved entirely from rose red rock, not built on top of the earth, not constructed from bricks or stone, carved directly into the heart of a mountain, hidden from the world for over 2,000 years. A city so breathtaking, so impossibly beautiful, that when the first European explorer finally stumbled upon it, in the year 1812, he stood completely still. He could not speak. He could not move. He simply wept. A grown man, an experienced explorer who had crossed deserts and climbed mountains his entire life, brought to tears by a city. This is the story of Petra, the lost city, that time forgot, the wonder that was hidden inside a mountain for 2,000 years, and the mystery that archaeologists, historians, and explorers have never fully solved. Breathe in slowly and out. Let the story carry you. We are going to Petra now. 2,000 years ago, in the heart of what is now the desert of Jordan, a remarkable people called the Nabateans made a decision that still baffles historians today. They chose the most impossible, most inhospitable, most unreachable place on earth to build their home, not in a valley beside a river, not on a fertile plain, not near the coast. Inside a mountain, they found a place where massive walls of rose-colored sandstone rose hundreds of meters into the sky on every side, creating a natural fortress that no army could easily penetrate. And instead of building on the ground, they carved entire palaces, carved into the cliff face, temples, carved from solid rock, tombs, sculpted from the mountain itself, staircases, cut directly into stone, leading up to places of worship high above the desert floor. Imagine for a moment waking up every single morning inside a mountain that glows soft and pink at sunrise. As the first light of day touches the sandstone walls, the entire city turns rose red, then gold, then deep amber. That was what 30,000 people woke up to every morning in Petra, a city hidden from the outside world by walls of solid rock on every side, with only one way in, one narrow path, so narrow in places that two people could barely walk side by side. The Nabateans called it the Sick, a crack in the earth, 1 kilometer long, that twisted and turned and wound its way through towering rock walls, until suddenly, after one final turn, the most breathtaking building you have ever seen appeared before you. The Treasury, 40 meters tall, carved entirely from a single face of mountain by human hands with simple tools 2,000 years ago. Breathe slowly. Let that image settle in your mind. A building carved from a mountain, still standing today, exactly as it was 2,000 years ago. But now, the mystery begins, because the Nabateans were not just remarkable architects, they were masters of something that should have been impossible. In the middle of a desert, water. Petra receives almost no rainfall throughout the year. The surrounding desert is brutal, unforgiving, bone dry. And yet, Petra never ran out of water. Not once, in centuries of occupation. How? The Nabateans built the most sophisticated water management system the ancient world had ever seen. They carved channels directly into the rock walls of the sick, channels so precise, so perfectly angled, that every drop of rainwater from every storm was captured, directed, and stored. They built hidden dams deep inside narrow gorges, invisible from above. They constructed cisterns carved into the rock that could hold millions of liters of water, and they covered them so perfectly that for centuries after Petra was abandoned, nobody knew they were there. Engineers and archaeologists today, with all of our modern technology, still study the Nabatean water system, still publish papers trying to explain it, still find themselves humbled by what these ancient people achieved. A city of 30,000 people in the middle of one of the harshest deserts on earth that never once ran dry. Let that settle into your mind as you breathe in slowly and out. These were not primitive people. These were not simple desert dwellers. These were engineers, architects, scientists, artists, who built a wonder of the world. And then, at the very height of their power, they vanished. Breathe. We will follow them into the silence now. The disappearance of the Nabateans is not a dramatic story. There was no single catastrophic moment, no earthquake that swallowed the city, no plague that emptied the streets, no conquering army that burned everything to the ground. The Nabateans simply faded, like a candle, burning lower and lower, until one day the flame was simply gone. When the Roman Empire expanded into the region, Petra was absorbed quietly, without great resistance. The Nabateans became Roman subjects, and life continued for a while. But the world was changing around Petra. Trade routes that had once brought caravans from Arabia, India, China, all passing through Petra, began to shift. Ships became more reliable. The great sea routes replaced the desert roads, and Petra, the city that had grown rich and powerful by controlling desert trade, found itself unnecessary. Merchants stopped coming. Caravans chose different paths, and slowly, over decades, over generations, people began to leave. First a few families, then whole neighborhoods, then entire districts, falling silent, until Petra, that magnificent carved city, that wonder of rose-red rock, stood completely empty for over 1,000 years. Only the Bedouin tribes of the desert knew Petra existed. They kept it secret, father to son, mother to daughter, a whispered story passed down through generations of a city inside a mountain that the rest of the world had forgotten. And then, in the year 1812, a young Swiss explorer named Johann Ludwig Burckhardt disguised himself as an Arab merchant, grew a beard, learned Arabic, adopted a new name, and convinced a local Bedouin guide to take him to the secret city. When Burckhardt finally stepped through the Sikh, and the treasury appeared before him for the first time, he stood in complete silence. For a very long time, he had found Petra, the city that time forgot. Breathe slowly, in and out. Let the silence of that moment surround you. Archaeologists and explorers have been studying Petra for over 200 years now, since Burckhardt first stumbled through that narrow crack in the mountain. 200 years of excavation, 200 years of research, 200 years of discovery. And here is the fact that keeps every archaeologist who works there Awake at night, less than 15% of Petra has been excavated. 85% of the city is still underground, still buried, still hidden, still waiting. In 2016, a team of researchers using satellite imaging and aerial drone photography discovered something extraordinary buried under the sand, just below the surface of the desert floor. A massive platform, enormous, larger than an Olympic swimming pool, completely unknown, never mentioned in any ancient text or historical record. No one had any idea it was there. No one knows what it was used for. And then, there is the chamber, beneath the Treasury, the most famous building in all of Petra, the building that every visitor photographs, the building that appeared in Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. Beneath it, ground-penetrating radar has revealed a chamber, large, sealed, completely untouched for 2,000 years. The door has never been opened. The contents have never been seen. Whatever is inside that chamber has been sitting in complete darkness, in complete silence, since before the birth of Christ, waiting, just waiting, in the dark, in the silence, just like the quiet around you. Right now, breathe in slowly and out. Feel yourself sinking deeper, deeper into rest, deeper into the ancient silence of Petra. Whatever secrets are in that sealed chamber beneath the Treasury, they have waited 2,000 years already. They can wait a little longer. While you sleep, there is one final mystery of Petra, the quietest mystery, the one that is easy to overlook because it is not about what was found. It is about what was never found at all. The Nabateans, the people who built Petra, who carved an entire city from the heart of a mountain, who mastered water in the desert, who controlled the trade routes of the ancient world, left almost no written record of themselves, no history, no explanation, no account of their own lives, their own beliefs, their own thoughts. Everything we know about the Nabateans, we piece together from the writings of Romans, from the accounts of Greek travelers passing through, from the images carved into the walls of their city. But their own voice, their own story, told in their own words, has never been found. A civilization that achieved so much, that built something so magnificent, that it still stands 2,000 years later, and chose to leave. No explanation, no final message, no goodbye, as if they knew that their city would speak for them long after they were gone. And they were right, because here you are, 2,000 years later, listening to their story in the quiet of the night, while the rose-red walls of Petra still stand in the Jordanian desert, still glowing pink at sunrise, still hiding 85% of their secrets underground, still waiting for someone to listen, just as you are listening now. Breathe in slowly and out. Let your body rest completely now. Let your mind drift. Let the ancient city carry you down into the deep, into the quiet, into the dark, into sleep. The mystery of Petra will still be there when you wake. The sealed chamber will still be waiting. The 85% still underground, still patient, still silent, just like you now, drifting, peaceful, safe. Good night. Sleep well.